Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your fantastic, incredible, magical coverage of the Defense 2. Organized and brought to you by joinDOTA, commentated by Toshley and sponsored by Razor and BenQ. And oh my goodness, we have some fantastic games to be coming up for you today. A phrase that I've uttered so many times indeed. But there's this team that's playing in this game, and I'm not sure if you noticed, they're not very well known. I don't think they've actually won anything. But they go by the name of NaVi, and in actuality, they're pretty big, hailing from the land of Ukraine, actually consisting of mostly Slavic countries. Estonia, I believe, Puppy's from, got some from Russia, and they're pretty amazing. They won the Star Series Grand Finals, pretty much smashing Mouse Sports into the ground, which was a bit of a disappointment. I was hoping for some long stretched out games to be brought to the 5th and final game, but they just sort of stomped them. But nevertheless, oh yeah, go check out the Star Series Finals, by the way. You can find all the VODs over at the joinDOTA YouTube page, which is youtube.com/joinDOTA. Well worth it, especially, actually, the Star Series games, the Star Series tournament, the finals were fantastic, especially Mouse Sports versus M5. Again, all those VODs can be found over on youtube.com/joinDOTA. But let's go into this tournament. Jumping into the defense group stages, yes, indeed, we are still in them. I believe the group stages actually have concluded, and we're jumping into the actual, whatever the next stage of the tournament is. I'm still not entirely familiar with the structure, but nevertheless, let's have a look at who's playing for us today. We have NextKZ repping it out over on the Radiant side, and here on the die, we have that not so well-known team who goes by the name of NaVi, hailing from the land of the Ukraine. And needless to say, it's actually not the entire team. Havorst is not here. We have a stand-in from Team Virtus Pro. NS will be replacing him. So we've got 4 out of 5 NaVi members, which should be good enough. And hopefully they'll deliver some fantastic games for us today. And I have to put in my shameless plugs. Go check out the-defense.com for everything you need about this tournament. Go check out joindota.com for all sorts of fantastic Dota 2 goodness. And hey, you can buy a ticket to the Defense over in the Dota 2 store. You can buy a ticket to a lot of different tournaments over in the store. Watch them from inside the client, and you can look at the broadcaster's perspective, as well as hear their commentary from within the game, which is downright amazing. But enough of that, let's go into who is playing what has been banned, going straight into Captain's mode. Of course, we have NaVi banning out Brewmaster, banning out CK, and followed the third and final ban coming from them will be that of the Nature's Prophet. NextKZ responding to that with an Invoker, with a Chen, and of course, with NaVi having first pick, they've taken out that Lycan. And their first 2 picks will be that of the Darkseer and that of Leshrac, with NaVi responding to... Hang on a second. Shouldn't they have 3 picks? Wait. No. Yeah, NaVi had first pick. Excuse me, I'm retarded. And going into NaVi's pick, they've picked up an Enchantress. They have picked up a Venomancer, and now they're waiting for their third. We are waiting for their third and final pick to supplement their current 2 heroes that they've got thus far. They've got pushing power coming in from both of these heroes. And over on NextKZ's side, we have pushing power to come in from the Leshrac, as well as a little bit of sort of disable in the form of that split earth, assuming you combine it with something. Darkseer's got a nice amount of control with the vacuum, as well as he will most likely be taking that solo top lane, solo off lane. Typically what you do with that, with that Darkseer. And the final pickup's going to be that of the Enigma. So chances are, judging by the look, we'll probably see Enchantress overtaking the jungle with Enigma in the offlane. Venomancer, we'll have to wait and see exactly where he wants to go. There's fairly open the current lanes thus far. NextKZ are going to pick up that Sand King, which is going to give them even more stunning power. You can chain up a split earth with that Burrow Strike. It's going to be quite dangerous and quite painful to deal with. NaVi have a bit of control of their own, of course. They've got Venomancer with his Venomous Gale, which is a fantastic slow. I believe the best level 1 slow in the game. So it's pretty much a very easy first blood. That combined with the Enchantress, if she picks up, she already has a slow of her own, but if she picks up an Ursa or a Centaur or anyone that can deal a large amount of damage or slow or stun, such as what I just mentioned, it's first blood. I mean, you don't even need the Venomancer in there. It's an easy peasy first blood. So we're jumping into the next set of the 2 and final bans for each team. Bane and Crystal Maiden being rapidly taken out there by NaVi, with NextKZ responding to that by taking out that Night Stalker and taking out their Windrunner. Very rapid on the bans. They know exactly who they do not want to fight up against. Both teams are well aware of this. And now we'll go into the next couple of picks. So who do NaVi want to supplement their current team composition, as it were? They've got good team fight. How the hell did Broodmother survive and not get picked? I don't even know. Broodmother's an incredibly powerful hero. Without a shadow of a doubt, probably going to be taking... But what? How the lanes are going to go? How are the lanes going to go, actually? You'd think Enigma would be going into a... We could have a wow, excuse me. We could have a dual lane mid. Enchantress going solo as well. I mean, not Enchantress. Enchantress will be in the jungle. We'll have a dual lane mid with Enigma taking top and Broodmother taking bottom, or the other way around. Actually, it seems so unwise picking up Broodmother after they've picked up Sand King, considering if Sand King gets the jump on the Broodmother, as in gets an extra level up on Broodmother, it's painful for Broodmother. You can take out those spiders so easily. You can sit in a sandstorm on her web, and all of a sudden she'll start taking damage. So they're probably going to have to try and... NextKZ are probably trying to figure out where is that Broodmother going to go at this current point. Because they want the Sand King to go there. And NaVi are probably going to try and trick them. They might put the web at the top, but actually have the Broodmother go down the bottom. We'll have to wait and see. And who do NextKZ want for the next pickup? Vengeful Spirit's going to be the next pickup for NextKZ. Not a bad pickup at all. I'm trying to think of how the lanes were going to go. It seemed fairly straightforward thus far. Well, Darkseer will obviously be going, taking the solo off lane. Leshrac could possibly going mid, supplemented by the Vengeful Spirit and down. Or we could see Leshrac and Sand King in mid or bottom. Or we could have a tri-lane down bottom with the 3 of those. Now that would be painful. 3 stuns to come in, that's easy first blood. And if you went up against the Broodmother, it'd be potentially dangerous for her. We're waiting for NaVi's fifth and final pick. They've got quite a bit. They've got control. They have teamfight capabilities. The only thing they're really lacking is hard disables. Malefice is the only stun to come in from NaVi, as well as, of course, that black hole, which is just a whole massive rapey stun. But they probably want something a little bit more reliable. Well, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm trying to think who else is available that has a reliable stun. They're taking out the Windrunner. Shadow Shaman. Obviously, 2 stuns, 2 disables to come in from him. You have that Hex, and you have that channeled Shackle. The problem is, however, NextKZ have a set of 3 stuns, and of course that Vacuum to come in from Darkseer. So they have 4 ways thus far to stop that Shackle. Easy peasy. And that Shackle is a very painful stun to come in from that roster, but you've got 4 ways to stop it. And I don't think he's going to have a BKB that early in the game, so the Shackle's probably not going to get leveled much. Because NextKZ can stop it really, really, really easily. And NextKZ on their final pick. Who do they want, is my question. What could they currently be using? I mean, do they want something to counter what NaVi has, or do they want something to supplement their current composition? They've got so many disables. I think they need a damage dealer. Queen of Pain would be perfect, like a really heavy damage dealer. And Queen of Pain would just be perfect for that, in my opinion. Queen of Pain would be a solid pickup, but they might want something a bit more... No, I really don't know. We've got a good amount of bonus time to tick into for NextKZ to decide their next pickup. Bounty Hunter's going to be the next pickup. That'll be actually very handy. Why didn't I think of that? That'll be very good against the Broodmother, actually. Track, of course, meaning your webs are effectively useless for the next minute or so. Good luck hiding when you've been tracked. And I believe it doesn't show you when you've actually been tracked. At least it doesn't come up with the animation like it used to. So you actually have to check and see if you have the debuff, which, well, actually, as a professional player, it probably wouldn't affect them that much. But for pubs, it most certainly does, but we're not here to talk about pubs now, are we? We're here to play some fantastic games, and I'm really looking forward to seeing NaVi play the first game that they're played in this defense tournament. And I have a feeling it's either going to be stompy or spectacular. We'll have to wait and see. And who is playing who? Over on NaVi's side, we have the stand-in NS playing as Enchantress. We have Puppy taking the role of Enigma, Light of Heaven taking Broodmother, with Dendi taking up the role of that Shadow Shaman, and Venomancer finally, AA, Arsart, that's right, Arsart taking the role of that Venomancer. And over here on NextKZ sides we have See You in Space Cowboy taking up the role of Sand King, Reeves playing as Darkseer, we have Lucky, god damn those capitals, playing as VS, I really have trouble reading that Magenta name. Stalcat playing as Leshrac. Oh god, I'm sorry guys. And finally, we have Mantis playing as the Bounty Hunter. And we're all going deep into their own jungle. NextKZ is. They're looking for that first blood. They're going to go buy the runes, see if anyone's foolishly waiting to pick that up. And we have a couple in approaching their jungle. It could turn bad for them, however, the team of NextKZ have gone well away from them, so they should be ultimately A-okay unless they decide to stick around for a little bit longer than they should. A nice little ward being placed here that covers so much area of this jungle. It allows them to make future ganks very easy and gives them vision in case they might possibly get ganked. And Enchantress better be careful. There's a lot of death that's waiting for her. Burrow striking up on the ledge there, and this is going to be first blood without a shadow of a doubt. Stun coming in from the VS as well as that split earth. First blood easy peasy being picked up for NextKZ by the Bounty Hunter. As well as the regen room down bottom, which is, yep, going to be picked up there by the VS. So looking at the lanes, we're going to have Shadow Shaman over in the mid. We shall have Broodmother going solo top, and down the bottom we'll have a tri-lane with that Enigma and that Venomancer, and I'm going to guess Enchantress will be spending her time in their jungle. And in standard Dota style, we have a pause right at the start of the game. This happens in almost every single tournament. If it doesn't get delayed for about 40 minutes, we'll have a pause. And I bet that teams just use this bloody pause because of the amount of unprofessionalism in Dota 2. They use the pauses to just discuss strategies. I swear to God that's what they do. Thankfully, it was a quick pause with resuming. We have SK and we have VS hiding it out. Venomancer's about to find himself in a very bad situation right now. We have SK coming in on him, Enchantress coming to back him up. No stuns to come in though. They're going on that puppy. They want him down. Barrel Strike to come in. A lot of right-click damage to be dealt. Split Earth to follow. And this SK is going to fall as a result, and Leshrac is very low as well. Popping that healing salve and running into the trees. He has to be careful. Conversion's coming in to try and do as much damage as possibly can. It looks like they will take him. Split Earth to come in on the Venomancer, but it's not enough. And that Leshrac falls very hard. Even exchange of affairs right there, so it seems. Enchantress rapidly returning to the lane, and VS has to be careful. Actually, it wasn't Enchantress. We're taking a gander over NextKZ's lane, but hold up a second. I heard a Burrow Strike. A bit of a delayed reaction, but it looks like everything A-okay. Over in the top lane, we have Darkseid going up against that Broodmother. That's probably going to be annoying to deal with because that Ion Shell is just going to absolutely destroy the Spiderlings. Over in mid, we have the Bounty Hunter going up against, of course, that Shadow Shaman. And down the bottom here for NextKZ, we have that SK, we have that VS, and we have... is there someone I'm missing? There's someone I'm... oh yeah, Leshrac, of course. And it looks like Leshrac's going for Lightning Storm over Edict, so it looks like we want a lot of pushing power, and that will probably go quite well because we'll be able to take down those conversions from the Enigma fairly easily. In fact, one Lightning Storm should be able to do this. And we've got a nice little army to come in from the Enchantress. This is going to mean some death for the next person that ventures a bit too close, and that might be SK, but he has that Burrow Strike to take down a good chunk of the army. Venomous Gale to follow, but the Split Earth will do a massive amount of damage to the Enchantress. Enchantress very low, but so is SK, exchanging kills right here. Vengeful Spirit is the next one going to be fall if they're not lucky. A couple more right clicks. Troll Trap to go down. Lightning Storm to do a bit of damage to the creeps, but it's not enough, and Leshrac has to run away as Venomancer secured himself a double kill. Had fairly even exchange of affairs thus far. Where the hell did the Bounty Hunter go? And you see Broodmother having a very difficult time up here at top. Getting very low on health. The Spiderlings can't do much because they just die to that Ion Shell. And the same is true for Broodmother. Broodmother can't really do much to this Darkseer because that Ion Shell just does so much damage. You can see it in effect right here. And I have a feeling this Leshrac is about to experience a bit of pain. They're going in for the surround, however, SK is coming in from the behind, looking to cause a little bit of damage, but has been spotted by that Plague Ward. Bottom is definitely the lane to be watching, but a shock to go in and do a little bit of damage to the Bounty Hunter. Ultimately should be A-okay. Bottom lane is definitely the lane to be watching. And I love the ward placement here. It gives them fantastic vision of their jungle. NaVi know everything that's going on here. No one's going to sneak up on them with this ward placement. Fantastic. We have Bounty Hunter being a rather daring individual, pushing himself rather close, but over here we're going to have some damage to be dealt. Actually, it's just a creep getting taken down, Centaur being slain very hastily right there. We have SK getting in position, a double Burrow Strike might come in if they're not careful. Puppy coming in, moving himself a bit closer. Puppy, Burrow Strike there on the Enigma, followed by the Split Earth, and Puppy's very low, chain stunned there by the VS. And SK is also very low, popping himself in the Sandstorm in order to save his ass, and it might be enough. Vengeful Spirit taking a nice couple of right clicks there, but should be ultimately a-okay. They're waiting for that SK to come out of the Sandstorm, in which case he's going to get absolutely plowed. We're just waiting for it. We're just waiting for it. And he might actually escape. Burrow Strike is, of course, off cooldown, but he does not have the mana for it. That could have been a fairly easy kill with a Venomous Gale or a couple of right clicks from Enchantress, who's going to attempt to cut them off. This could be bad or it could be good, but it looks like there's not much reinforcement. There's the SK. Healing Salve gets a bit of heals, but it's not enough. Converting a creep right there and do a bit of mana draining from the creep right there. Healing stun to go in from the Enchantress, but the heals are coming in from her as well. Right-clicking down that Vengeful Spirit. Got the Tango Charge to do a little bit of healing, but the Venomous Gale counteracts that oh so rapidly, and the Enchantress falls. I mean, the Enchantress takes down the Vengeful Spirit right there, putting the score 6 for NaVi and 4 for NextKZ. We take a gander over to the XP, and of course to the gold. We can see a slight favor for NaVi with their kills, and I'd say that they're getting better farm as well. Except for Broodmother at top, who doesn't even have a Soul Ring yet, however does have the dosh for it. And over this bottom tower is taking a beating. VS is very low, getting trapped by the ward right there. And one more right click from that unit. She manages to successfully juke, and now Venomancer is currently on the run. A couple of right clicks will take him down very rapidly with that Darkseer porting in. And now Enchantress is currently running away from the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter having haste and escape will be incredibly difficult, but it seems the Bounty Hunter has decided to back off as there is an Enigma coming in to reinforce. Did that Leshrac? I can't believe Leshrac actually got away. Bottom tower has been denied by NextKZ. So close right there. Puppy looking at the creep score. Puppy... Enigma has a nice amount. 17-0. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter has successfully taken a kill there on the Shadow Shaman. On Rasta. Poor Dendy. Getting a little bit of free farm from the wards, but taking a lot of damage. A couple more right clicks will take him down if he's not killed. Is he actually going to die to these wards? Oh no, he has a Ghost Walk. Thank God. I was about to say. And Broodmother pushing her way very far forward, doing a bit of damage to the creep wave and the tower where it can be dealt. Bounty Hunter doesn't have the ward up there. Taking all that damage, it was just unwise. And the rune is down here at bottom. He has to pick that up before someone else does. SK taking a little bit of beating. Malthus stun to come in, but he pops straight into the Sandstorm. But the Malthus stun takes him out, and they're going to continue on with a right-clicking. Venomancer doing as much damage as possible. The Split Earth does not get placed down, not just yet. Leshrac waiting for the opportune moment to place that down. And a couple more right-clicks will take the SK down, but it seems he's successfully escaped. Probably going to use that Healing Salve as soon as, yes indeed, as soon as the poison wears off. Rasta making his way down, pick up this invisibility ward. Rune rather, deny it from that Bounty Hunter who's backed off to base anyway, and Enchantress might find herself in a not so great situation, but the sprites are doing a bit of healing, and Shadow Shaman is coming into the fray. In an attempt to pick up a gank, all he needs to get off is one nice Shackle or one nice Hex, and that is easy peasy death for the person that gets Hex. And in the meantime, it looks like going to push this bottom tower, because why the Christ not? No one's here to reinforce. They probably won't take it down, but they'll do a nice bit of damage. However, NextKZ are quick to respond. Here to reinforce already. Bounty Hunter just hiding it out, waiting for the opportune moment to engage. NextKZ is currently doing, and there's a lot of conversions here doing a nice amount of damage. But that Lightning Storm does a nice amount of damage to the creep wave as well. There's a bit of counter push as well as pushing power. They're sacrificing tower damage for it. VS coming in. Was that the wisest place to be going? I don't think so. The stun to come in there on the Venomancer, doing a bit of right-click damage, and the creep is bashing her down. She's taking massive amounts of damage. In fact, Convergence helping out as well. Burrow Strike there to assist in the escape of that VS. But a couple more right-clicks from the Ursa Warrior. The clap is almost off cooldown. One clap will take it down. Is it going to be successful? I think... Wait. The Ursa has slightly faster movement speed, but he didn't use that clap. I don't think he was close enough anyway. So close there on that VS. Almost getting taken down. I think if the Enchantress handled herself. In the meantime, Shadow Shaman just took down that Darkseer. I don't even know... Okay, over in the top lane, seems it got ward trapped. By the looks of it. I have to pay more attention to this minimap. I think it's because I'm tired. Nevertheless, excuses, they hold up nowhere. Let's continue on with the commentating, pay a little bit more attention to this minimap. And I have a feeling this Leshrac's going to be in a world of pain in a couple of moments. The entire team of NaVi is coming here to reinforce. However, Shackle coming down there on the Bounty Hunter, but he quickly steps into that Ghost Walk. However, they do not have vision. I thought it was Duster. It seems they continue to do damage. The Bounty Hunter's going to escape. Pretty A-okay, a very dangerous position to currently be in. Going to wait for that poison to wear off and then probably use the bottle charges or maybe teleport back to base. Heal up, pick up a couple of items, refill that bottle, and then return straight into the battle. Leshrac and SK waiting down the bottom here, looking for the opportunity. Lightning Storm going to go down, do a bit of damage to the creep wave. make it a little bit more difficult to take down this tower. VS coming in to reinforce as well. And are NaVi going to engage? It seems they're going to back off. They've forced everyone down here by the tower. In the meantime, the Broodmother's probably going to try and push this top lane as hard as possible, but the Darkseer is giving her a little bit of trouble. The middle tower has fallen in the meantime. Dendy taking care of that very quickly. Bounty Hunter not able to do anything. Currently on the lookout for him. He's in a rather dangerous position though. He doesn't want to get caught out. He should be a-okay. But over down here on the bottom, we have a lot of damage being dealt. The Shrek getting stunned up with the Venomous Gale just barely hitting him. Stun coming down there on the Venomancer, followed by the Split Earth, and a couple right clicks away, and in comes the Black Hole. He gets stopped immediately there by the SK. And NaVi's team rapidly falls, only being able to take up a kill on the Leshrac. Venomancer being very low, wisely teleporting back to base before getting caught out, and Dendy should probably make his way back, as it could be pretty bad if he decides to stick around and gets caught out. And this Broodmother's about to have a hell of a bad time. Track going down as well as a vacuum to hold him back down, and no escape for you right now. And Sonic's going to run in there with that speed, with that haste. Actually, that's Bounty Hunter. And a couple more right clicks will do it, but the throw is not enough, actually. And the Broodmother manages to successfully escape. Lucky. In the meantime, I think they're just going to push this top lane. Why not? NaVi's team is relatively out of action. Might take a gander over at the gold. 4,000 in favor for Team NaVi, with the 2,000 XP advantage in hand for them. Taking a gander over the creep score. Looking at NaVi's team, they've got pretty decent number, as well as NextKZ aren't doing too bad either. Now is Broodmother going on items. Is she actually working towards a soul ring? It looks like she's going straight for an Orchid Malevolence, actually, and disregarding that soul ring entirely. In the meantime, Dendy's on a killing spree, picking up a kill there on the Bounty Hunter. Able to do absolutely nothing, getting caught well out of position. They're going to take this opportunity to push this top tower and push it as hard as they possibly can. However, with that track there, they're going to be well aware that there's so many people there, because of course the track gives vision of the area around here, just around the Venomancer. So they know that top's going to get pushed. They're coming in to reinforce, however, they're pushing this middle tower relatively hard. Double damage there on the Dendy. The Shrek running for his life as they continue to push this top tower. A lot of damage to be dealt there on the Broodmother with a stun to finish him off. And the vacuum not helping out at all. Successfully defend a top tower, I'd say. It was very good on the Shrek to push that lane back, actually, because it forced them to retreat. And then it put NaVi in a not so great situation. These wards are doing a nice amount of damage, actually. Holding this lane back. And we have double damage Dendy to come in, however, that double damage is 5 seconds away from wearing out. Sonic running in, not so great situation, but hello, trap. Denny's getting very low. Epicenter to finish off the kill there, going straight through the Hex. And the ward trap is not enough. Sonic is very low in HP, but using that healing stab should bring him up very rapidly. And Venomancer will find himself in a not so great situation if he's not too careful. However, the Plague Ward will give them vision and will not allow them to get ganked anytime soon. And they're currently fighting over the ward here. In the meantime, top tower has fallen. And it looks like they're coming here to intercept, but have they got the numbers? I'm not entirely sure. We have quite a few here. Black Hole is actually still on cooldown. Track going down there on Enigma, currently chasing after him. Is he going to get it? The vacuum is going to follow to pull him straight back in. The Burrow Strike will no doubt follow as well. Enigma's going to find himself in a not so great situation. Malphite stun to go down, but the Burrow Strike will follow. The Venomous Scale to go down. Puppy dropping like an absolute stone. Vacuum to try and secure a kill there on the Venomancer. Lightning Storm to do a little bit of damage, take down the creep wave and weaken it over so slightly. He's a couple right clicks away from death. He has to be very careful. Burrow Strike to follow, and that's a dead Venomancer. NextKZ picking up, evening up the scores with Bounty Hunter securing himself a double kill. In the meantime, Dandy is continuing to push this middle lane, as well as the bottom lane getting pushed at a relatively rapid rate by the Broodmother. However, Darkseer ports in and is able to clear up that spider wave pretty easily. Dendy making his way to bottom after he pushes the creep wave to the tower, makes his way to bottom, or maybe he's just going to continue to do a little bit of jungling in their jungle. Broodmother has to be careful, doesn't want to get caught out of position. Chances are they have some form of dust or sentries. Yes, indeed, there's a gem on the Darkseer. Very early gem, actually. But Darkseer is a tanky hero. He's not going to die anytime soon. Currently right-clicking down that VS. A stun to follow as the Insatiable Hunger pops. Shadow Shaman Dendy has come in to reinforce, however, they can't really get in such a great position. VS will find himself in a not-so-great situation, but she chooses the correct path and does not go near the Dendy. Very wisely done. Things are sort of settled down. We've stepped back. Looks like Enigma's going to be working his way towards indeed a mechanism. We take a gander over at what Enchantress has in hand. Nothing much. Power Treads in hand, as well as a Bracer and a Ring of Basisis. Leshrac having pretty much nothing. Point boost. It looks like he's working his way towards a Bloodstone. Taking a gander over at the Broodmother. Still hasn't worked that much further towards that Oblivion Staff. Which I'm going to... Not Oblivion Staff, I mean Orchid Malevolence, which is, I assume, is what he's going for. Darkseid has a nice amount. Working towards that Vanguard next. And taking a look at Bounty Hunter's item. As soon as I can click on the bastard. Not having particularly much either. But he doesn't need stuff to be effective. He just needs to track things before they die and give extra gold to NextKZ. Despite the kills being even, there's still a 5,000 advantage in gold, even with the track. And taking a gander over the XP, it's just under 1,000. So XP is evening up, however the gold's still just a massive advantage. And NaVi are farming so much harder than NextKZ are. Also the tower advantage. NextKZ actually haven't taken down a single tower. NaVi have taken down 3. So that's probably where most of the gold is coming from, as well as overall better farming. In the meantime, Epicenter being used there on the Broodmother, getting taken down very rapidly. And they're probably going to push this bottom tower. NaVi are going to go for the trade. And it would be a pretty good trade, I have to say, but they wisely port back. They realize Ward Trap to go down there on the VS with the Hex as well, the Vacuum to follow. And the Black Hole to come in, catching 2 of them out, but he gets stopped immediately. And lots of damage being dealt. Imp doing tons of damage to the Leshrac, and Leshrac doing a bit of damage himself to Shock to take the final kill right there. And SK going in on the offensive and rapidly taking down Dendi. Enchantress trying to port out, she will successfully escape. And I have a feeling it was Darkseid that was ward trapped. Yeah, it was. I was trying to click on him the whole time, and I kept clicking the wards. I thought it was VS. Nevertheless, I was wrong. Venomancer making a narrow escape right here with Broodmother continuing to the bottom lane to build up a nice army of Spiderlings and just push this tower out as hard as she possibly can. This is the power of a side lane split pusher. They just can constantly push. While they're down 1 in team fights, it doesn't matter because they're putting constant pressure on a lane. And it forces several members of the other team to teleport over to that bottom tower in order to defend, or they're going to lose it. So it's a win-win scenario either way. Either they don't port down and they take a tower, or 1 or 2 of them port down, which means the upcoming team fight, or maybe the tower that the team is currently going on is not as defended as it could be. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think back to the picks and bans. Did Prophet get banned out? He must have. Prophet, in my opinion, is one of the strongest heroes in Dota 2 right now. In both pubs and competitive. Uh-oh, Enigma finding himself in a bad situation. Stun as well as the guy, I can't remember, I don't know how to pronounce it. Jinda doing massive amounts of damage, and all of a sudden I can't move the camera. Back to free camera. Alright, I don't know what happened there. I think it's because I double clicked on him. Hex to go down there on the Bounty Hunter, as well as that Sentry Ward in order to get vision. Venomous Gale going to go down and track there. The Vacuum straight into the wall to come in from the Darkseid. And now they're in a not so great situation. Starting to go down on the Enchantress with the Venomous ulti going down as well. A couple of right clicks from death and give that extra gold. And Broodmother has to be careful because there is a gem on that. Actually, there is no gem on that Darkseid anymore. I guess it got taken down. Shadow Shaman jumping out as fast as possibly can, as well as Broodmother. We've got quite a bit of power coming on NextKZ's side. 18 to 14. Taking gander over at the gold, it's definitely starting to go back into NextKZ's favor. Well, it's only 2,500 in NaVi, considerably less than what it was before. And looking at the XP, bloody hell, that jumped quickly. 5,000 advantage for NextKZ. And they're going to take this bottom tower. Easy peasy. However, we have a puppy. Try and get in a black hole, but everyone's split apart. Just sort of wandering in there. Stun going to follow as well, the Vacuum and the Burrow Strike. Once you get that black hole, now would be a perfect time, but it's on cooldown. What a perfect black hole that would be. Epicenter going massive amounts of damage with a Shackle down there on the Bounty Hunter. The ward's taking him down very rapidly. NaVi definitely coming out in that team fight, and they're not done with that. Hex going down there on the VS, followed by the Burrow Strike in order to do a bit of damage and try and stop them, but it's not enough, and there's going to be a regeneration rune over here for Dendi, as well as a triple kill for the Shadow Shaman. Is this carry Shadow Shaman? Malphus stun going down on the SK, as well as the Imps, but the Enchantress is going to fall, but jumping straight into that Sandstorm, but the Sentry Ward gets blocked. Dendi jumps in and steals a kill, securing himself an Ultra kill. 2 for 4. 2 for the entire team, I feel, is a pretty good exchange. And if we look at that gold, it's still only slightly in advantage of NaVi, but taking the XP, it's definitely going back quite a bit. Only a 2.5k advantage for NextKZ. NaVi are bringing this back by the looks of it. I'm trying to think, what does Enigma want to go for next? I think a Blink Dagger would be perfect. Make a surprise engagement. Shadow Shaman Dendi Rasta is doing so much damage, doing an absolute boon for the team fight, but track to go down there on the Dendi. They want to take him down the Shack and the Shock, as well as the wall and a vacuum straight into it, as well as a stun. Split Earth there on the Venomans. They're currently chasing after the Dendi. This Darks is a tanky bastard who can just sit right next to him. Doesn't even matter. Enigma gets taken down very rapidly, and Broodmother is forced to just hide because there is nothing she can do. NextKZ, after taking a rather crushing defeat just then, have brought it straight back to NaVi, and they said, you know what? I'm not taking this. Walk straight up to them, punch them straight in the face. Exactly what they did. Taking 3 for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And pushing them back very, very far. And how are NaVi gonna proceed from this situation? Because half of them are dead. They probably just want to defend as hard as they possibly can. And then when they're all up, when they're all grouped together, push out. I'm actually somewhat surprised no one took the opportunity to take Roshan. When KZ came out ahead in that team fight, or when NaVi came out ahead in that team fight, Roshan would have been a pretty good pickup. However, at this stage of the game, I guess it's not as useful as it could be. I mean, people are just dying really easily. Everyone's really squishy, so you can't really utilize maximum effectiveness of that Aegis. Enchantress just sitting down in the jungle, leveling up as fast as possible. Looks like she's going towards a 4-staff. Enigma doing the exact same thing. Just sitting in the jungle farming. However, this middle tower is going to fall very rapidly. Fortification going down, going to delay it a few seconds. However, it's not going to be enough. Maybe they can come in for a denial, possibly a surprise attack. In comes Puppy with the SK, has spotted him. Burrow Strike to follow, and they're all going to go in and vacuum to follow, as well as a track, as well as a stun, mini stun, more stuns, VS stun, but Venomancer ulti doing a nice chunk of damage. Eventual damage, however, he is going to pay for it, trying to force-staff him out of there. Indeed, the Enchantress has. The Burrow Strike has come in, a VS stun to follow, as well as a track to give extra delicious gold. And the throw gets the final kill right there for the Bounty Hunter. Darks are getting awfully low. However, NextKZ no doubt came ahead in that engagement, and they're just going to back off very wisely. And Denny's going to find himself in a really bad situation in a moment, but wisely blinking out. And NextKZ look like they want to take this opportunity to take down Roshan, or maybe not. Maybe they might just push. Actually, they have to take care of this bottom lane. It's getting pushed out very hard here by the Broodmother. Caustic Finale doesn't even need to. Just Burrow Strike to absolutely obliterate that wave of spiders and get a nice amount of free farm. Easy gold, easy XP. Even if it's a very slight amount, it's still easy. Venomancer defending this middle lane as hard as he possibly can. Leshrac making his way to top. Gonna do the exact same thing. SK and Bounty Hunter holding down this bottom lane. It looks like they want to push, but they're not entirely sure. Broodmother could find himself in a not so great situation. However, no one seems to have visibility. But a track is going to be not so great. Bounty Hunter manages to miss him. Puppy getting caught out. Does he know that? No, he does not. This could be bad. However, reinforcements are not too far away. I think it could be very bad indeed. Track to follow, but the Malphus stun is going to stop him right in his tracks. Puppy now running for his life. But Enigma will hopefully be able to successfully get away without too much trouble. However, VS is coming in. The vacuum comes from the Darks here, and the stun's going to follow, but a nice black hole. VS walking straight into it, but there's nothing to do damage here. This is just going to delay time before he gets taken down by the throw. But in comes the Broodmother. Hunger, but the epicenter as well as a stun just taking him down like an absolute stone, dropping so rapidly. Venomancer wants to try and pick up this VS, but I don't think it's going to happen. Stun to come in, and that is an easy kill. Double kill being picked up by the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter's going to have some nice stuff. Looks like he's working his way possibly towards a Manta style. I can't imagine he's going for Sanjin Yasha, considering it's pretty awful. I mean, it's not very good. Seriously. For the money, for how much it costs. Manta style would be an obvious choice. This creep wave gets absolutely obliterated by the lightning. They're going to catch off the Enchantress, trying to force stuff away, but it doesn't matter at all. The damage is too much, and death follows. Easy tower being taken up for NextKZ. Puppy Illusion coming in, doing a bit of damage. Shock obliterating that creep wave as well. In the meantime, Bounty Hunter is just going to say, you know what? I like your jungle. I'm going to kill everything that's inside it. He'll also be in a relatively good position as well, just sitting here in the jungle. He'll get farm, and he'll be in position for an attack. Darkseer coming in, not just running away, actually. And I think NaVi are going to try and push out this middle lane by the looks of it. Have Broodmother continue to push the bottom, or maybe not. Where is that Broodmother? Bounty Hunter almost getting caught out, but they don't have any form of detection. No, indeed they do not, and the Orchid Malevolence doesn't get to land to prevent him from jumping straight back into that stealth. However, we have Sonic coming in to try and reinforce. If the next engagement comes, it's going to be a lot more painful with the Darkseer there to help out. In the meantime, this bottom lane is getting pushed very hard by the Leshrac. You see that Lightning Storm just completely obliterates the Creep Wave. However, they are rapidly responding. They are reinforcing. They're not just going to let them take this tower down. Excuse me. Entire team of NaVi is here to reinforce, and they might just take this opportunity to, hey, why not? Let's just push this bottom lane. Broodmother continuing to push the top, so we have a bit of split push action going on. Very, very erotic. Not really. That's actually really weird if you're into that kind of thing. Whatever. We can see the SK just comes up here, cleans up those spiderlings and the lane easy peasy. That Sandstorm just stops them right in their tracks, and SK is really good for that. So they can just put SK in the top, and all of a sudden they don't have to worry about Broodmother. However, Broodmother is still performing her job because she has forced them back, and it means there's one less person in the team fight. That's no Epicenter, that's no Burrow Strike. But NaVi are just going to sit back and farm this Ancient Camp, because if we take a gander over at the gold, over at the XP, they're considerably behind actually. A 10k gold advantage for NextKZ, with having them having an almost 16k advantage in the experience department. Things are looking a little bit grim for NaVi. However, have faith, ladies and gentlemen. This is Team NaVi we're talking about. Even though they're down one, I really don't think they can blame everything on NS. I don't think so. I think it'd be a bit unfortunate though. And look at this, just SK pops into Sandstorm, destroys the wave of spiderlings. They have to be careful. Bounty Hunter's here as well to reinforce, but no one's going to get caught out by the looks of it. Seems they thought they were going to find a Broodmother. Not Shackle going down, as well as a stun, but a Malphite stun to stop him right away, as well as so much damage to come in from the Pulse Nova there. Massive amounts of damage being done. Trying to force stuff, getting forced off in the wrong direction. In fact, one right click VS is from Death does get taken down, drops that gem. However, that Leshrac is so tanky, but the Enchantress manages to take him down. No escape for Enchantress, just running back and trying to get them as far away as possible and secure the escape of the Broodmother, even though I don't think she was even in the fray. Trading 2 for 3, not bad at all. And NextKZ now have the liberty of just taking a free tower. Well, it wasn't actually free, they sacrificed 2 for it. But it's an easy tower, and they may as well continue pushing, because there's nothing here that can stop them at this very moment.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Continue to push, it will be glorious. It'll be delicious. And Pipe being in hand from Darkseer absorb a bit of that AoE spell damage to come out from NaVi. And we saw that Shackle to go down, and we saw it got immediately stopped. Like, pretty much immediately. And that's what I mean, they've got so many disables. Every single person on NextKZ is capable of disabling in some way. I believe there's a mini stun that comes out. Yep, mini stun from the Shuriken toss. Could find himself in a bad situation. The Epicenter combined with the vacuum. Holy hell. Taking down 2 members in very rapid succession. Puppy trying to get the hell out of there before he falls as well. Holy crap, I don't even know where the SK came from. But that was a painful combination. Before they even knew what was happening, they were dead. I think NextKZ are pretty happy with that victory. They might take the opportunity to take down Roshan. They took down 2 for free, easy peasy. Why not kill Roshan? And who's going to get the Aegis though? Oh, Darkseer, Sonic. He's the tankiest. He's the most difficult to take down. It seemed like a pretty straightforward, obvious idea. Maybe Leshrac. Not Bounty Hunter's going to take it up. Yeah, Bounty Hunter's also a good pick. And they're going to take the opportunity to push the middle lane. And there's not much that NaVi can do about this. It's actually looking very grim for them. We take another gander over at the XP and the gold. Good lord. That's a big advantage. We're closing in on 20k on the XP, with the gold being 15k in favor, of course, of NextKZ. We're going to push this middle tower. There's not much they can do. Burrow Strike to go in on Denny right there. And they just sort of died. The wards got placed in the last moment. Venomancer drops like a stone before I can even say what happened to him. However, Leshrac is very low. Looks like he paid for the damage that he dealt. However, he didn't pay very harshly because he can heal himself up without too much troubles. Oh, no, wait, he died. Never mind. I guess the poison finished him off. Track going down there on the Enigma, which is actually perfect because they know where he is and they're going to see that he has that blink dagger if they didn't see that before. So they know that they're not going to get caught out by a surprise black hole unless they're bloody stupid, which they probably aren't because they specifically tracked Poppy, which is just really good, really smart by them. And for the next 15 seconds or so, they're going to know exactly where he is, and they're taking advantage of that immediately, trying to force stuff away. But the black hole is going to land. It doesn't pick up the BKB one, but it does pick up that SK. Blinking out immediately as soon as that black hole wore off, and narrowly avoiding death. Enchantress getting taken down by one Jinder right click. Enigma jumps in and dies in a second indeed, popping that pipe just in case he attempted to black hole. Did he? Oh, he already used the black hole. Never mind. As we saw a couple of moments ago. And things aren't looking so great for NaVi. It continues to snowball in the favor of NextKZ. And they're just gonna walk away. They had a nice victory here, taking up several kills. They didn't take down the tower, however, you can't help but be happy with that. Did the Aegis get used? I don't think so. Look at Bounty Hunter. Indeed, it did not. Stun to go in there on the VS, and he's going to drop like a stone. BKB as well as that Burrow Strike. Enchantress getting taken down as well. The toss finishing her off in a very rapid succession, and Poppy calling out the GG. However, one must remember, time ranking. Guys, don't just DC yet. Come on. Time ranking, time ranking. Stay in the game, please. Yes, indeed. We have that time ranking to deal with. Venomancer, come back.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh, my throat's really sore. I have to take voice lessons and realize what I can and can't do. Like, what plows my throat and what doesn't. We all leave and game will end. That's your throne fall. Yeah, so what about time ranking? I don't think NaVi are particularly happy. Probably just sounding very, very straightforward. Or maybe he just doesn't understand time ranking. Burrow Strike to come in as well as that Leshrac stun. Probably getting taken down in a fraction of a second, and the tower falls with him. Diabolic Edict doing a lot of damage to come in from that Leshrac. Pipe going down because why the hell not? I guess I worried about ulti to come in from the Venomancer.
Dire's middle barracks.
Middle barracks being taken down very rapidly.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
It seems we have NS microwing that Venomancer as best as possible. Or maybe someone else's. Towers are going to fall by the Ancient. Means the Ancient will fall. NextKZ securing this victory. Very surprised by this, actually. I was expecting NaVi to pretty much smash them across the face, but it seems that indeed is not the case. NextKZ winning that battle in a very convincing manner. Ancient has fallen, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the group stages of the Defense Season 2. Commentated by Toshley, organized and brought to you by joinDOTA.com, and of course powered by Razer and BenQ. Many thanks for them for sponsoring this tournament. Don't forget to check out the-defense.com for everything you need to know about this tournament, as well as VODs that aren't, a month behind. And of course, check out joinDOTA.com for everything you need to know about Dota 2. Fantastic little Dota 2 site there. All sorts of information to be found. There's forums that are very nice, very nicely moderated. The site could be a bit better scripted, but oh well. Anyway, thank you for watching. My name has been Toshley. I'll see you in the next game.